Okay, let's get into it. So, first of all, let's just talk about the tone very quickly. This obviously isn't a Les Paul, and I don't have all of his amps either, so I've done the best with what I've got. This guitar has kind of an interesting pickup situation whereby I can flick into the middle here with this knob and get what's called clear humbucking. That's what PRS call it anyway. It's kind of like just not quite as full on of a humbucker sound, and one of the benefits of that is it's got quite a good nasal distortion that does a decent enough job of mimicking Page's kind of half wah, half cock wah tone. You've got quite a nasal tone. If you're not sure what I mean by that, a lot of the time Jimmy would record certain things with his wah pedal turned on but kind of just left halfway, and he got this really thin and aggressive sound. And he used a treble booster as well at times. But that's one way of getting that sound, you know, with the wah pedal. I'm going to use this amp because I haven't got a wah pedal that I can do that with. Now onto the amp, I've got a single channel amp set up, so I'm kind of on distortion all the time. It's quite a full on distortion there. So I'm getting all of the differences in tone on this track, on the recording, just by doing it the old fashioned way with my pickup selector and volume knob. So if I kind of flick over to my neck pickup here, turn the volume down, I can get a lovely kind of warm crunch. And then you can see just by rolling it up and flicking back over, you've got all the distortion there. So you have to get used to changing around when you do it that way. A lot of people would just use a 2-channel amp, but you might find you lack a little something by doing it that and having just a simple off and on setting. So, you know, if you've never tried this kind of thing, I'd definitely recommend getting a really nice solid kind of 1-channel amp and just playing around with it, because there's certain sounds you can't really get any other way, and it makes you work for it, which isn't a bad thing. Okay, let's take a look at the riffs. Oh, right, so this first riff we're going to have a look at is the jangly pre-chorus riff. So, as with a lot of the ones in this song, it's one of Page's more recognisable songs, and all of the riffs in it are really fiddly and weird, and people kind of play ones that sound quite close, but not straight, not spot on. So this is the way I'm doing it, but I'm sure some people will disagree about the fine points on certain parts. So we're starting up here on the G string at the 11th fret. I'm using my 3rd finger, and what I'm going to do is strum down through all of the strings, and as I do I'm going to bend the 11 up to sound like 12. Okay, then you can bring it down. Then I'm going to rake my pick just up through the strings and come off on my 1st finger to 9, so I've got 0, 0, 9. But you're not trying to pick them individually, you're going to drag the pick. Okay, so it's kind of like the latter of like a sweep picking riff almost. Okay, so the next bit, you're going to pick that 9 again, the B string open, and you're going to play 11 again, then the B string open again. So I'm going, and one more time. Then we're going to move down to the 7th fret on the G string. I'm going to play it with my 2nd finger, and I'm going to strum through all of the top strings, and as I do it I'm going to pull off to 6 like this. So I've picked the 7 and pulled off to 6 onto my 1st finger. Then I'm going to re-pick the B string, then re-pick that 6. Then I'm going to move down and I'm going to pick 6, pull off to 4, and then again open B string, re-pick the 4. Then we're going to move down to 2 with your 2nd finger, still on the G string, pick down and pull off to 1. Okay, then you go back and repeat the whole thing again. And on that 2nd time, that's where you want to start rolling your volume up as you move down. So you have to kind of coordinate, it's a bit tricky, but here you go, something like this. Notice right on that last bit, that's when I flicked my pickup over. and that takes us into the chorus. Okay, chorus riff. Again, I've seen loads of debate, loads of different ways people playing this. I'll show you what I did. It's helped that in recent years the isolated tracks have managed to leak onto the net. So if you take a listen to those, so what I'm playing here might sound a little odd. If you take a listen to some of those, you'll see where I've got what I'm playing from. But even that aside, I'm sure some people are going to come and tell me that I'm completely wrong. So it's all good. No hate here. This is what I'm playing. Okay, let's break this down. I'm starting off very reminiscent of the acoustic strumming part for the verse. So I've got my E chord here, which is 7 on the A string, 999 barred with my 4th finger. Down, up, down, up. Then you're going to flatten your 1st finger and bar across the inner 4 strings, all at 7. And then it's now going to be 9 on the A string, 7, 9. And as you pick that one, you're going to slide down. Now we want this shape. So this is my 1st finger at fret 3 on the B string, nothing on the G, 3rd finger at fret 5 on the D string, and you're going to pick this quite aggressively and slide up 2 frets. So that was a down slide, and then I'm going to up pick that same chord, and then down pick and slide back down, like this. And then up, down again, and then we'll pull off to the open D string, just my 3rd finger. You can definitely hear this D note on that isolated track, and then what you're going to hear is this 2nd fret on the G string, followed by these 2 notes, the 2 3s on the thinnest 2 strings. So I've seen some people playing like staying in position and doing it with your 1st finger, but then you can't get that note there. So what I do after the pull off, I'm going to move to like a D sus4 chord. So I've got either your 2nd or 3rd finger barred across the thin 2 strings at 3, then my 1st finger at 2 on the G string, and I'm going to go so low, high. So let's have a listen to that again. And rhythmically, what you're aiming for is kind of a da 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 da. So that's after the 1st bit. Like that. Ba 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 ba. Now, what I'd encourage you to do with this is be loose, be relaxed with it. Don't get into like a real detailed fight with it, trying to make sure you only pick the notes I've just told you. Page is very loose. You can afford to strum this a bit wild, and if you catch other notes, that's okay. It all adds to the overall sound. You're probably not going to hit anything too foul holding those shapes. And if you do, just wrestle around with it a little bit, because this is his way of playing. It's not about super quantized, highly technical things, although some of his playing is. This is about feel. Okay, so you can just be a bit looser with it, a bit more relaxed, and vary it about a little bit. But I think that will give you something that sounds pretty much bob on with the chorus. So, 2 things I didn't mention. One was the mute there. I'm just holding my hand flat against it now. The acoustic guitar is definitely going to be doing this a lot. And if you watch things like the Page, It Might Get Loud DVD did with the Edge and Jack White, he does a bit of this muting on the electric, although that being said, he doesn't even play that bit I've just been going on about down there. So you know, it's up to him. He can do what he wants. He's Jimmy Page. But yeah, feel free to put this music in. I do, just because I get so carried away with it, because I bloody love it so much. This bit of the song, it's hard not to kind of follow those upbeat drum accents. So what I'm doing is something like that. You know, I might not put all of that in. I might put more in. You know, play it by ear and just feel the song a little bit. And then the other thing I didn't say was, yeah, when you finish, you go back into the verse. Roll the volume down, but you want to be hitting like just an opening, and maybe even this octave here at the 7th fret on the A string. So you've done something like that, maybe. You know, just roll the volume back down, get ready for the next part. Okay, on to the first solo, if you will. This is an interesting part. On the original, it's at least 2 guitars tracked separately, played together to make harmony lead. Now we don't have the luxury of that. If you're playing it live as a 2 guitar setup, presumably one guitar's doing all the acoustic bits, so you've got to do both of these bits yourself. So I found a little way of arranging them that sounds quite nice. So this is what I played. Okay, so you see all that extra distortion is really helping the sustain there. Basically, on the original, one guitar's going to go. And the other guitar's going. So I've kind of juggled them around, put them up here, so you can play them both together at the same time. Right, so let's take a look at it. You need your first finger barring 14 on both strings. That's where that's going to live, and you're going to use these 2 second and third fingers to play the other notes. So we're starting off with this. It's 15 on the B, 16 on the G. Give it a good wobble, and then you're going to re-pick it and pull off to those 14. And then put them back on. Then you can do that again, and then once more, and this time slide up 2 frets, so it's become 17 and 18. So let's have a look at that so far. Okay, that was fast. Let me do it again slow for you. Now we're essentially going to go back to the start, but this time you start it slightly differently. You're going to go, so that was pick, pull off, pick. And then again, you're going to do this. And then go back to the start once more. This time just hold on to it. So the whole thing all together sounds like this, nice and slow. Okay, then we're going back to a chorus, just like before, only this time when we come out of it, we're going to break into a second solo of sorts. So let's take a look at that one. Okay, same deal here. This is originally 2 lead tracks, played elsewhere. Both of those bits could have been played elsewhere, but if you want to play them together, you've got to kind of play them realistically where I'm doing them here, just to make it easier. So you'll notice the shapes of this because it's based around the same shapes we used for the first solo, only this time we're moving around a lot more. so let's take a look at it. We start off with the higher shape, so it's second finger at 17 on the B, third finger at 18 on the G, and you're going to pick them both together and slide down 2 frets. And you're coming off to that 14th fret bar with finger 1, then you're going to flatten your third finger down over the middle 2 strings at 16, and then first finger down middle 2 strings, at 14. So let's have a look. That's your descending pattern. Try and get both notes balanced if you can when you're doing this. So you do that twice, and then you're going to start it again, but you finish the pattern early just at those 14th fret bars. So let's have a listen to that. Then we go back and do the whole pattern again, and this time we're going to go up to the 14s on the G and B, and then 16s on the middle 2, and then back, so like this. So you're just kind of flapping your fingers around. And then we do the whole thing again, and this time, right at the end after you've repeated the whole thing, we're going to go to this, which is first finger at 12 on the B, second finger at 13 on the G. Okay, this next bit's gorgeous. You want to flip back over, roll your volume back down, get that nice warm crunchy sound, and we play this. So rhythmically, again, another fiddly one, just like the rest of the song, but some really nice ideas. So let's have a look. You want your first finger at 9 on the A string. You're going to pick the open E string and that note together and hammer on 11 on the A. Now your first finger is going to need to be able to go flat at this point, so you can catch 9 on the D string as an upstroke, and then at that point you're going to down pick 11 again on the A. So like this. Then you're going to take your third finger back off, down pick both of those, that low E and that 9, upstroke on the D string 9th fret again, and then put the 11 back on and down pick the thickest 2 strings. Okay, so we've gone. One more time. So that's the first bit. Now notice those pauses in there, they're a little odd, but you need to keep running through them to get used to that. I will include some audio tracks for you to try and practice along to with this, so you can loop that rhythm round and round, try and get it. Okay, for the next bit we're going to move that whole shape down a string. So now we're going to pick the open A and then the 9th fret on the D string, hammer on the 11 again on the D, upstroke at the 9th fret on the G, which I'm playing with another bar again, and then back down to the 11. So I've gone. So I've gone. Then we're going to move the shape over 2 frets, so 2 frets lower. So I've got my first finger at the 7th fret, and again we're going to pick open A and that 7, hammer on 9 this time, and then with that first finger bar again, I'm going to pick the 7th fret twice on the G. Then you're going to re-pick 0 on the A string and the 9 and on the D. First finger's going to go back to the 6th fret on the D string, so it's now 0 and 6, and then 0 and 7. So, odd stuff, but it sounds incredible, doesn't it? So now all together, both bits. Now, from where you've come out of the second solo, you need to kind of drop the first bit, because you'll have gone Now that's kind of where the first riff would start on that beat. So I suggest coming in there and then starting fresh. So let me play it how I do it. So what I did, as I hit that last note of the solo, volume down, and then as I move to the other position, that's when I flick that so it doesn't become too obtrusive. And then I've got that lovely tone. You know, even that sounds a bit clunky, I suppose, but you've got to remember everyone else is playing at the same time. That can be enough to hide, to smoothen out that section change so no one else notices. Okay, so you're going to play that all the way underneath this verse now until we hit that pre-chorus again where you play another lovely jangly. And then we're through to the final chorus, go mad, play it like a lunatic right now. Have a whale of a time. Obviously you can't fade out, so with the band you'll have to decide how you'll end it. You know, you might end on something like that. Who knows, up to you. Great stuff, Ramble On, what a song, eh? Get in touch if you want to do some more Zepp. Someone's asked for Achilles' Last Stand. I love that, it's one of my favourite solos of all time. So I definitely want to do it, but I've not done it yet because it's bloody long, isn't it? It's really long and difficult to describe, difficult. So we'll have to do that in chunks, I think. But yeah, any other tracks you want me to do, get in touch. It doesn't have to be Led Zeppelin, obviously. Yeah, see you soon.